Hi, my name is Lindsay. I'm running for mayor of Airdrie. I am going to be talking to you about the economic recovery that we're going to be looking at over the next 4 years. Um, and initially, I'm not an expert. So, what I'm about to say needs to definitely go through experts and be tested to make sure that the impact makes sense for Airdrie. So take what I'm saying as an idea, not a platform promise, okay? So when I'm looking at our economic recovery, we currently, when I read the budget, we have three ways that we have revenue, and that is through property taxes, levies, and revenue from our user fees, sorry, and then our the funds generated from Genesis and things like that. So, with that being said, we have always had this claim to fame of not having a business tax. And I think we've come to a point, especially after this pandemic, really seeing how the property tax for our brick and mortar businesses, the impact that it had, because, and for people that don't own business, just to give you kind of like, we have our property tax, residential. So businesses pay 2.5 times the mill rate, basically, on the commercial market rate for their property, right? It can be substantial, and it is not dependent on revenue. So throughout the whole pandemic, no matter what, whether their doors were open or shut, property tax didn't change. And it works for parts of our business community, but it doesn't work for the whole. And it played a big part in why some businesses couldn't make it. So you'll learn with me that I look at impact. I'm very clear that we don't have revenue. We have citizen paid taxes, citizen paid like user fees, citizens, and businesses. You're all here paying, and everybody has a threshold. I get that. So when I'm looking at our community, I'm looking at, well, how do we meet the needs for the services and everything that we need as a community? And how do we alleviate the burden on just the few? We need to spread it out. So I would like us to look at reducing the property tax for businesses slightly or substantially, depending on the experts that are going to have to play with the numbers. But in my mind, if we can reduce the property tax and allow businesses extra money in their hands on a monthly basis to be able to invest in their business, that gives them the capacity to possibly thrive. Come when taxes get done, having the extra box there for municipal taxes, and that would be based on revenue. It would need to be minimal for us to figure out now, and this is where I need people to listen. Brick and mortar have been the only businesses contributing to the municipal tax base. We are now looking at what would it look like for all businesses. And no matter what your revenue is, everybody has to pass a certain threshold in order to even have to pay taxes. And that tax rate would be lower because it is now spread over a greater portion of the population. Why I think this is where we need to go is because the world is not the same as it was before. Revenue has not recovered for businesses. Neither have the citizens. The jobs have dried up in some places. The hours are not full-time. All of that comes into play. And so I've done previous videos about some of the downloading that the province and the federal government have done to municipalities. So the reality is we're going to have to be creative, and doing more of the same things that we've always been doing we can always explore that. And I'm saying this next year, I would like to do like a study and actually have businesses of all different sizes, all different kinds. So your home based, your e-com, your brick and mortar, your like big box, your industrial, all of that, and start looking at what would the property tax rate look like for impact on those that it impacts. It's only, and property tax only impacts those with brick and mortar. And then what would the tax rate for revenue based business tax be that would spread out among all to see how we can still meet the needs in our city? Likely, personal property taxes will probably increase as well. My previous video was talking about almost 9 to 10 million shortfall for policing, and that was just one area of our budget. We're all recovering, and we all have our threshold for how much we can pay. So I get that. And we have to look at what this is going to look like. And instead of us seeing massive increases on the few, to alleviate the burden on the few and try to spread it out among us all. Like we keep talking about support local. In some cases, this support local is going to look like us looking at our tax base and not putting it on our brick and mortars all. It's just very tone deaf for us to go, we support businesses, but pay your bill regardless of whether your doors are open. Or I know that you're operating at a third capacity, but your property taxes doesn't care. Maybe, and I get, as a city, we have operational needs that we need to meet, and having that income is absolutely essential. If we can figure out a way to do this that alleviates some of the pressures on our businesses on a month-to-month basis and really leaves a little bit more money in their pocket so that they can recover, that's the goal. So taxes are usually a really fun thing for us to talk about, and we just need to stay open to this whole concept that we've never been here. This is hopefully going to be post-pandemic soon, while we're really in the thick of the fourth wave. But whatever the case is, how we move forward, it needs to be all of us moving forward, and we don't do it on the backs of a few, and we don't leave anybody behind. So that being said, that's my idea, and I hope you guys all have a great day. Again, my name is Lindsay Coyle, and I'm running for Mayor of Airdrie.